Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
To local politics now, and Labor is renewing its calls for the state's health minister to leave his portfolio in a ramped-up effort to tackle the issues in Tasmania's health system. Labelling it a health crisis, party leader Rebecca White says they're seeking to move a motion of no confidence in Michael Ferguson this week.
Tasmanians have had enough. Patients are speaking out, staff are speaking out. They don't feel that the minister is delivering the health system that they expect or deserve as Tasmanians. And we need to make sure that the government are held to account for this.
He has put significant funding into health, continues to address and monitor issues that arise in our health system that, quite frankly, are not his fault.
Parliament resumes on Tuesday. Tasmanians have attended a service in memory of those who have lost their lives on the job. Tasmanian Unions says the precinct at Inveresk serves as a reminder about the importance of workplace safety. The group says 22 Tasmanians died from incidents at work in the past 3 years, with a further 9,000 seriously injured. It follows a service in Hobart yesterday. As thousands of fans went to Utah's stadium to see a thriller between the Hawks and the Blues, the political football over who should fund a Tasmanian AFL team continued to be passed around. Liberal candidate for Bass, Bridget Archer, denies it's hypocritical for her federal counterparts to refuse funding a side when the state government bankrolls local deals with the Hawks and the Kangaroos.
No, what I see this is as Bill Shorten's contempt for the north of the state and for regional Tasmania.
Shorten has committed $25 million for a Tasmanian AFL side if Labor wins government. 20 Tasmanian ballet dancers are celebrating tonight after making the cut for the production of Cinderella. They'll join dancers from the Victorian State Ballet in the fairy tale classic, which takes to the stage in June.
A line of graceful pliés before reaching for the skies. These talented twirlers have been practising their technique for their moment in the spotlight.
The Victorian State Ballet are coming to Hobart in June to perform at the Theatre Royal, to perform Cinderella, and they have a child's cast. So these young dancers were auditioning for a part in that, which will be very exciting.
And they've been successfully chosen to perform with the Victorian cast of 30, with these three leaping into the junior roles of Cinderella and Prince Charming.
It's just a really big honour.
Yeah. It's good to get the best role.
Yeah.
I felt excited because it's like one of the first times I've been in a professional thing.
The Victorian State Ballet eyeing up the calibre of Tasmanian performers for a 4th year.
Just lovely, the personalities are well suited, the heights, the standard, the technique, the quality of movement. So those are the things that we look for in this particular ballet.
Oh, it's just beautiful. You know, we've got a good relationship with them, and I think that we're setting up something really wonderful for the future for these kids that want to go on and perhaps explore ballet further.
And the shining stars are already feeling the flutter of nerves.
I'm very nervous I'm going to forget the choreography on stage, but I don't think that. I'm just trying not to think that will happen.
Maybe falling or something, but it all comes in practice, so you have to practice too.
Cinderella will be on at Launceston's Princess Theatre on Thursday, June 27, before heading to Hobart for 2 weekend shows. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
And it was a big night for Tasmanian basketball, with the Southern Huskies recording their first win at the Derwent Entertainment Centre against the Super City Rangers in the New Zealand NBL. Today, the Launceston Tornadoes and Hobart Huskies both impressed, coming out on top in their NBL 1 matchups. With the crowd keen to be a part of history in the Huskies' first ever game on home soil, Trey Nichols gave them something to get excited about. Fellow import Jalen Billups made his presence felt down in the paint to make it a 2-point lead at the end of the first. The Rangers continued breathing down the home side's neck on the scoreboard, so Nichols set about giving the Huskies a bit of wiggle room.
And now Nichols, and nice from downtown.
Man Mountain Jordan Vandenberg setting the tone for a dominant third period, whipping the Derwent Entertainment Centre into a frenzy as the home side fired up. Billups refused to be outdone, helping the Huskies along to an 11-point lead at the final break. And from there it was smooth sailing, with Craig Moller putting the final touches on the 16-point win. The Northwest Thunder got off to a solid start against the Braves in Bendigo overnight, before the home side found their rhythm in the second. The Thunder rallying in the third to set things up for a tight finish, but the Braves had other ideas, storming home with the 17-point win. A better result for the Tornadoes in Waverley today, clawing themselves back into the match against the Falcons, with American Stephanie Gardner leading the charge with 25 points to see Launceston home by 4. The Hobart Huskies didn't have to battle quite so hard to get the result against Diamond Valley. Ellie Collins and Taylor Roberts proving instrumental on both ends of the court, with the Tawns leading at every change to come away the 23-point winners. To netball, and the Northern Hawks have been dealt their first loss of the State League season, with Arrows coming away with a convincing victory over the reigning champions in Hobart today. Expected to be one of the closest games this season, the Arrows instead put on a dominant display to record a 17-goal win. Earlier in the day, Devon's disappointing season continued, with Cripps keeping the girls from the Northwest winless and lingering on the bottom of the league ladder with an easy 18-goal win. Karana also remained without a result in 2019, with Cavaliers barely breaking a sweat, backing up yesterday's impressive win over Arrows to secure top spot on the table with a 20-point drubbing of the Flames. Tasmanian-owned yacht Alive has claimed its first victory since taking out overall handicap honours in the Sydney Hobart, winning the 72nd edition of the Newport to Ensenada race in California in a time of just under 16 hours. The yacht is competing in a series of races on America's west coast before tackling the Trans-Pacific race to Hawaii in July. For the first time, Hyundai is joining the list of hopefuls looking to take out this year's Targa Tasmania. The customised i30 face a stiff competition, with Tassie duo John and Jason White going for a record-equalling 8th title.
There's something about the pre-race rumble around Symmons Plains. It's a rush which keeps Jason White coming back.
There's always something to see. There's always something unfolding, and there's always stories coming from that many different areas. The service crews, I think, have as much fun as us out there racing.
They say you have more fun when you're winning, and Jason and Uncle John know all about it. They're looking to equal Jim Richards' record of 8 Targa Tasmania titles.
Experience is a big part of these sorts of events. At the end of the day, it's just a great week to spend with someone cruising around in a car with like-minded interests.
The team's GT2 class Dodge Viper will have some new competition. Hyundai will debut its i30N hatch, a true pocket rocket adapted for the rally roads.
Modified the brakes, partially I put a bigger exhaust on the car as well, but we've really worked on just the balance and the feel of the car because we're running the standard suspension.
Driver Brendan Reeves hasn't lost his touch despite last racing in Targa Tasmania in 2012.
It's very similar to the production car, just a higher spec.
They're running against very expensive cars. You know, if they run top 10 in what is an i30 at the end of the day, that'll be a fantastic result for them.
Nearly 300 entrants will cover 2,000 kilometres across the 6 stages. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Finally in sport, Park Beach surfer Luca Broadrib has claimed back-to-back wins in the Open Women's Division at the annual Southern Challenge event. Well, there are a record number of entrants in the men's Open Men's Division, with 30 of the state's best surfers vying for the crown in round 2 of the Red Herring State Championships in solid South Arm swell. Run in memory of local surfing legend Paul Johannesson, his son Jai led the event for most of the day before Shipstern Bluff specialist Marty Paradisi snatched the lead in the 11th hour to claim his 3rd Open Men's title in a row. Young gunner George Vanderkellen taking out the Spirit Award for Best Emerging Talent. They all escaped without getting hypothermia too, Rachel, which is a miracle.
Did look a little bit chilly, but good on them.
Good evening. Launceston was the state's warmest today, reaching 21. Hobart, a high of 14. Burnie, 18 and 19 for Devonport. Other centres today, a high of 17 across Flinders Island, Smithton and Lowhead. 15 for Strawn and Ouse. St Helens, 21 and Friendly Beaches reaching a high of 20. On the close-up, low-level cloud about the west and south of Tasmania in the southwesterly wind flow. On the satellite, low-level cloud over the Bight and Seas near the state, and upper-level cloud is streaming over northern Australia, while the rest of the country is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow, a cold front lies over southwestern WA and a coastal trough runs along the central Western Australia coast. Westerly winds 10 to 20 knots tomorrow, reaching 25 knots about the south. Swells up to 3.5 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for southern coastal waters from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point. Tomorrow's forecast now looking partly cloudy for Hobart 19, Dover and Ouse reaching a high of 18. In the north, a mostly sunny day in Launceston, Devonport and Scottsdale 17. Burnie and Stanley tomorrow looking cloudy, a high of 17 and Strawn 16. Sunny and 19 tomorrow for St Helens and Swansea, Ross 17. Looking to the 3-day forecast now, Tuesday showers about the north, clearing in the afternoon, fine elsewhere. Wednesday showers developing about the north and west with north to northeasterly winds with fresh and gusty winds. And finally, Thursday showers about the northwest extending statewide during the morning, showers clearing late afternoon. On to the capital cities, 26 the high for Alice Springs and Brisbane, a sunny day for Adelaide and Canberra, Melbourne and Sydney looking partly cloudy, and Perth reaching a high of 22. And on to current temperatures, Hobart 12, partly cloudy, Launceston 13 and Devonport mostly clear, Tubber 12. That's all in weather tonight. Back to you, Rach.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Jackie. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week at Back to School. I'm Rachel Williams. Good night.